Alright guys, I've had a couple people ask me how I've got my transducers mounted. So real quick, let me show you guys how I mounted mine. So you can see that I've got that thing mounted on the very bottom of the very bottom step. And I actually have two. That's my transducer for my older G2 series. I believe that's the older one. And then on this side is the transducer for my G3 series. So that's how I've got mine mounted, guys. I know I've had a couple people ask about it, so I just real quick wanted to show you where I mounted mine on the bottom side of my boat. Well, good morning guys and ladies. It's August 29th and we've got Hurricane Ida coming ashore west of us, and we're getting some outer bands of that hurricane this morning. So I don't know how much filming I'm going to get in today, but guys, I thought I'd do something a little different today. We're going to get out here on Lake Talquin and see if we can find a couple of these crappie schools. And I'm going to take my Hydrowave H2 that I have mounted on this boat, and we're going to get out here and get these, see if we can get these crappie on this live scan. And we're going to turn on that Hydrowave, and we're going to play with that thing and just see if we can see any kind of reaction from these fish at all. I know I see a lot of questions on the internet, people wondering whether or not they work and what they do, and I tell you, I've had one for a long time and the verdict's still out with me. I think I've seen more shad activity and fish coming up and busting shad off and on at times when I've used that bass fishing. I have not messed with it much crappie fishing. So today we're gonna get out there. Honestly, I hadn't even turned the thing on in so long. I've got to turn it on, make sure it works this morning. But we're gonna get out here on this windy, rainy morning, and we're gonna play around with that thing a little bit and see what it does. See if we can see any reaction from these crappie when I turn that thing on. We'll go through some of the different sounds that I have. I just have the standard sounds. I don't have the new crappie sound kit that they have. Maybe at one point in time I may get one of those and give that a try, but we're just gonna go play with the standard sounds we have on here and see what it does. So you guys hang with me this morning. Alright guys and girls, got a bit of a glare. Let's see if I can figure out how to see if we can adjust this thing where that glare is not so bad. Alright, so if y'all can see that, that's our first school of crappie this morning. They're out there about 30 feet. I'll let the boat get situated with my spotlight here. Now we're going to turn on this Hydrowave. We're going to see if we see any reaction from those fish at all. I don't know what to expect. Just curious to see if they start moving around more, if they come towards the boat. Get them in the screen real good here. Let's get a group of them there. Alright, so we're turning this thing on. We're going to start with the very first option, which is power pattern. I'm going to turn the volume up 3 clicks, and we're just going to put it on continuous, and let's see what happens when I turn it on. Alright, so it's on, it's playing. I don't know, kind of looks like some fish started swimming around there a little bit. Readjust my fish finder. There they are. Alright, so right off the bat, it doesn't look to me like they're doing anything in particular. I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit. Let's get it on them good. Look around. There's some right there. So we're gonna go up another volume click. See some fish turning around down there under me. Go up another volume click. So now we're 3/4 volume. They're at 26 feet. I do not see any coming towards me. They don't seem to be moving. So we'll just sit here for a minute and let this thing play for a second and see if, I don't know if you guys can see the shad over here, the big ball of shad over here. They got really active and kind of went away from us actually. See one fish kind of coming this way a little bit. I don't know, guys. I mean, it kind of looks like some fish started moving around a lot, but I don't see the crappie doing anything. We've got some other fish swimming around down there below us. I know they're hard to see, guys, from that glare. Can't tell you what I was really expecting to see. I just thought we would see if we saw any reaction out of these fish whatsoever. Maybe if they come swimming towards the boat or get a little more active. But just eyeballing it, I can't tell. Can't tell that they're really doing anything. Let's stop that and try a different sound. Alright, so I'm gonna stop that one. Alright, we're gonna go to Bait Blitz. I'm going to turn the volume down to halfway, and we're going to play that continuously. Let's see if those fish have any reaction. I see a couple of pretty good sized crappie sitting down there on that tree. Not seeing them move at all. They're still at 26 feet on a stump. They haven't left, so we haven't scared them. There's a couple kind of hanging around the edge there towards that school of shad that's next to them. Turn the volume up another click, so now we're at 3/4 volume. So I guarantee you they can hear it. Still sitting there. Not doing much of nothing. Let's throw a jig down there and see if there's any reaction. Now, I haven't pitched a jig on these fish yet, so I'm assuming usually on my first cast, you know, the first time I get a bait down there in them, they're usually pretty happy to come after it. So we'll see if they show any reaction to this. Alright guys, there goes the bait down. Uh-oh, of course the boat just made a big move. There it comes right over them. Oh, there one just came out after it. falling right down the edge of the stump there. A couple of them came out after it. I lost them on the screen, guys. So we had a few follow it, but no big major reaction. Alright guys, let's try another sound. So we're going to stop that one. You can see the crappie school there. We're going to go to Schooling Blitz. That sounds good, doesn't it, guys? Let's see what Schooling Blitz does. Alright, Schooling Blitz is now playing. The theater near you. I'm not seeing my boat spinning, guys, so that's some of the movement you're seeing. No, don't seem to be jumping up and down. Guys, I don't know if you've noticed off to the side over here, but we definitely have quite a bit of shad spinning around under our boat right now. I don't know if that's just coincidence or if these shad are coming to it, but these shad, there's a ball of shad over here under the, almost directly under the boat, and they are very active. They are moving around like crazy. You see them here on this side of the screen here. Looks like they kind of moved out to around 28 feet. That could be my boat drifting backwards though. I believe the fish are still sitting in the same spot. Let's see if I can get a jig down there. There's a jig right on top of them. That one just came out after it. That was a good reaction. Boat spun way off of them. See them chasing? Boat spun way off of them, guys. Try that again. Oh, one came out and tapped it. Did get a nibble that time. Drop it down there to that one long guy right there. Nothing. Alright guys, so that's the first school of fish right there. I would say so far that's pretty inconclusive as to how it works on those crappie. Let's try turning the volume way up, just out of curiosity. All right, we have got 3/4 volume now. So we're pumping out some Hydrowave Schooling Blitz down there. Look at all the shad under the boat, guys. I got a bunch of shad under the boat now, so I don't know, guys. It may definitely attract the shad. Look at them, and they are definitely active. Could just be coincidence. Crappie, on the other hand, are so far not moving that I can tell, and they're not biting. But guys, it's early in the morning, and lately I have noticed the crappie just are not biting very well first thing in the morning. They feed all night, and first thing in the morning their bellies are full and they're just not in feed mode, they're in resting mode. But if you can see, I don't know how you can see with the glare, guys, but we have got a pretty good bit of shad activity under our, look at all the shad that are piling up under the trolling motor, and how active they are. So that's interesting. We have definitely it definitely looks like we have attracted some shad to the underside of the boat. All right, we got a lot of clouds around. Let's go find another school and see if we get anything different going on in another school. All right, guys, we're gonna ease up on school number 2 here. Look like a pretty good sized batch of fish too. I'm gonna try to get us a little bit closer to them. I know we got a glare out here with all this cloud cover, but just gonna have to do the best we can. Alright, we're gonna turn on the old Hydrowave. Alright guys, we're gonna scroll through this. We got Bait Blitz, Delayed Schooling, Schooling Blitz, Surface Bait, Spawning Bait, Finesse, Ultra Finesse, Feeding Frenzy. Ooh, that sounds good. Let's go with Feeding Frenzy to start with. Alright, we're gonna start with the volume 3 clicks up, and we're gonna play it continuously. Alright guys, it's on. See if we see any movement out of those fish whatsoever. And I have no shad under the boat at the moment. Look at there, an old bass or something came streaking up to the trolling motor. Check that out. That's interesting. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Joker came running up there to the trolling motor and then turned around and went back down. So it got something's interest. You guys see that? No interest from the crappie, but there was some kind of fish down there under us on the bottom that made a beeline for the trolling motor when I turned that on. I actually have it loud enough that I can hear it out of the water. I can hear it with it down underwater. So it is definitely making some noise down there. Look, got some shad starting to show up. I've not seen any reaction from the crappie. But I do see a few shad starting to stir around down there under the boat. Let's see if I can put a jig down there around those fish. Boat's swinging a lot, so I don't know how well this is gonna work, guys. Alright, there goes the jig down. See it right there on top of the fish? Let's see if we'll get some reaction. Yep, look there. Oh, he tapped it. Oh, one had hold of it. I just didn't hook him. So those fish are a little more active than the last school. Of course, they tore my jig up, figures. Oh, I caught one of them. Oh, he just got off right there by the trolling motor. Alright, so I have no idea whether this Hydrowave made any difference if that fish bite or not. I suspect not. But I did stir the school up a little bit when I did that. I believe they're actually a little closer to us than they were. Oh, he knocked the fire out of it. Did you see that, guys? So these fish are starting to get stirred up a little bit. They were not biting at all when I first pulled up here, and they have torn my jig into a million pieces, so I've got to change jigs. So we're just going to leave this on for a second. I'm going to let that Hydrowave play, and I'm going to grab another jig real quick. Alright guys, so I'm not seeing any extra shad under the boat. Not seeing any big reaction from these fish, any more so than what I normally have when I'm out here fishing for them. So I don't know, guys, it's kind of inconclusive to me, I guess. Alright guys, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's pretty good thunder in the background. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this, but look at the shad. Woo-wee. Guys, I saw some bass. We're going to zoom this sucker out to about 55 feet. I don't know if you can see that right there or not with the glare, but there's some bass sitting right out here in front of me. I'm gonna see if I can get close enough that we can get some of them on the screen pretty good, and then we're going to turn that Hydrowave on and see what these bass do. A couple right there. Alright guys, I don't know if y'all can see them. They're sitting right on the bottom right here. See, right here, I'm about 20 feet from them. I'm going to zoom in just a hair. There you go. See them bass down there on the bottom, guys? Right underneath the boat. Let's see what they do when I turn on this Hydrowave. Just out of curiosity. You guys see that? You guys see them fish down there? That is bass. Alright, we're going to go to Schooling Blitz. We're going to give it 2 clicks up and we're going to turn it on. Let's see what happens. Alright, so it is on. There's some fish down there. So bass, they're not schooled up as tight as other fish. They're just kind of milling around on the bottom down there. Let's see if we can get some on the screen. There's a little batch of them right there. Alright, let's turn the volume up and see what happens. Alright, so now we're halfway turned up. Like a pretty good bass right there, guys. That makes me want to pick up a bass rod. Pretty good sized fish there. Kind of coming towards the boat a little bit. They're all kind of swimming towards the boat. Y'all see that? Look at him coming up. Can you guys see that? See him coming up right here? He came up for a minute and he kind of went back down when the motor, trolling motor kicked on. There's a couple. Old bass are hard to see. There's a big one right under the boat right there. One way up in the water column coming this way. They're kind of hard to see with a Livescope because they're so close to the bottom this time of year in some of these spots that you just can't see them down there. So we've got that Hydrowave blasting Schooling Blitz at about half volume. And I don't know, guys, I mean, there's a couple sitting right here underneath us. Y'all see them right there? They're just kind of swimming around down there. I don't see any, not like coming up here to the boat. I see a couple out here in the distance. And a couple right there, right below the trolling motor. So I don't know. I can't see a big giant reaction. I know you guys got a pretty bad glare. It's hard for you to see this. Let's see if I can adjust it. Oh, we got one coming up. We got a couple milling around right below us there. A couple right in here. I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's just coincidence or what, but it does look like there's some of them are coming towards us instead of going away from us. Alright guys, I'm sure some of you are curious about what that Hydrowave sounds like, so I'm put this camera down here next to it and get some video of it. That is the Schooling Blitz sound. guys. Couldn't just show you Livescope and not catch at least one fish while we were out here. But I'll tell you what, guys, it took some effort to get that crappie to bite. Well, guys and girls, we played around with that Hydrowave a little bit this morning. The weather's getting worse and worse. It's getting humid, a lot of thunder around me, so I'm gonna start making my way off this lake. But as you saw, you know, I turned that Hydrowave on two pretty good sized schools of crappie, and I couldn't tell, guys, that it made them bite any better. Although I will say I tried to catch a crappie off of this school without using my Hydrowave, and they were not hardly biting at all. I finally caught that one that I just showed you, so it's a tough bite this morning. So maybe the Hydrowave was getting those fish, those other schools, a little more active. I hooked one or two of them, but they seem to be at least coming after it a little more than the ones on this school that I didn't use my Hydrowave. Although I can't say that I saw any noticeable reaction in the fish when I turned that thing on. You know, you guys saw the footage, you can judge for yourself. I did see some shad activity on that one school where the shad really did ball up under the boat and were really swirling around and moving a little bit more than I normally see them do. So maybe that was having a little effect on those shad and getting them stirred up. And typically when I've been bass fishing, that's what I've seen. I've seen it stir the shad up a little bit, which sometimes stir those bass up a little bit. You guys saw that school of bass on the bottom on the Livescope, and you know, I couldn't really tell. They kind of looked like they were moving around about normal as I normally see them moving around on the bottom. So I don't know. I think the verdict's still out. It certainly did not scare the fish. I did not see any fish leave. I didn't see any react to it in any negative way. So it's not hurting you. And guys, I had the volume turned up pretty loud. I could actually hear it out of the water with it down underwater. So I'll let you guys be the judge. I'm still skeptical. I don't think it hurts, but I don't know how much it really helps. So maybe I'll play around with it some more. Maybe we'll do some future videos. Maybe some of you guys have some suggestions of what to do to try it a little different way. I know this wasn't a very scientific way to do it, but I thought it would be interesting, and I certainly wanted to see what it would do. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great weekend, and you know, I hope everybody has gotten out of the way of that hurricane. We had Michael come through here, and let me tell you, you just don't want to be there when something that big hits. It's just devastating. So hope everybody gets out safe, and we see Louisiana, some miracle happens and they don't get hit as hard as it looks like they're going to. But you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you hopefully next weekend. We'll have a good weekend. I can get out on the water somewhere and we can get a bunch of fish caught. Take care.